You're listening to The Cultured Bumpkin, a literature podcast with Jake Phillips, where we present audiobook quality readings of the classics for your enjoyment. Thank you for stopping by. And remember, just because you're a bumpkin doesn't mean you can't be cultured. Hello and welcome to The Cultured Bumpkin. Hope you're doing well. If you follow me on YouTube, you'll know that I'm currently reading through Anne of Green Gables live in the evenings, and that I just finished Persuasion by Jane Austen, and that I finished Pride and Prejudice a little before that, and that I've done about half of Treasure Island, and that I've done A Christmas Carol, plus tons of other short stories and poems, and my sleep podcast, Ode to a Mockingbird, which is pretty much poetry set to like ambient, nature ambiance. That's a playlist on there. There's lots of good literature stuff if you need more than just a taste here. Usually I keep it pretty short on here for the most part, and then but on YouTube I'll have stuff like lots longer over there. Also, if you want to support the show, the podcast, the YouTube, the arts, and you want to hear ad-free audiobooks, check out my Patreon, link in the bio. But check out YouTube if you want more stuff. On to the poem today. This is by Lord Tennyson, and it's called Ulysses. Now, I'm no scholar. I'm not going to break it down for you. But I like this poem because it's almost like it's talking about Ulysses, who's had this great career, but he's getting older, right? And in my case, I've had a great life. I'm 40. So that's, depending on how long you live, that could be past middle age, right? But the poem is kind of about, like, even as you sense old age coming on, your best days are still ahead of you. And I know, I can hear some people now, you're 40, you're just a baby. No, listen. The Army took decades out of my knees and my lower back, okay? So I'm much older. My knees are much older than you, even if you're 80, okay? They're older than you. But I'm still ticking, and my best days are ahead of me. That's what this poem's about. So anyway, here we go. Ulysses by Alfred, Lord Tennyson. It little profits that an idle king, by this hearth among these barren crags, matched with an aged wife, I meet and dole unequal laws unto a savage race, that hoard and sleep and feed, and know not me. I cannot rest from travel. I will drink life to the lees. All times I have enjoyed greatly, have suffered greatly, both with those that loved me and alone, on shore, and when through scudding drifts the rainy Hyades vexed the dim sea. I am become a name, for always roaming with a hungry heart, much have I seen and known. Cities of men and manners, climates, councils, governments, myself not least, but honored of them all, and drunk delight of battle with my peers, far on the ringing plains of windy Troy. I am a part of all that have met, yet all experience is an arch wherethrough gleams that untraveled world, whose margin fades forever and forever when I move. How dull it is to pause, to make an end, to rust unburnished, not to shine in use, as though to breathe were life. Life piled on life were all too little, and of one to me little remains. But every hour is saved, from that eternal silence. Something more, a bringer of new things, and vile it were for some 3 suns to store and hoard myself, and this gray spirit yearning and desire to follow knowledge like a sinking star beyond the utmost bound of human thought, this is my son, mine own Telemachus, to whom I leave the sceptre and the isle, well loved of me, discerning to fulfill this labor, by slow prudence to make mild a rugged people, and through soft degrees subdue them to the useful and the good. Most blameless is he, centered in the sphere of common duties, dissent not to fail in offices of tenderness, and pay meet adoration to my household gods when I am gone. He works his work, I mine. There lies the port, the vessel puffs her sail, there gloom the dark broad seas. My mariners, souls that have toiled and wrought and thought with me, that ever with a frolic welcome took the thunder and the sunshine, and opposed free hearts, free foreheads, you and I are old. Old age hath yet his honor and his toil. Death closes all. But something ere the end, some work of noble note may yet be done, not unbecoming men that strove with gods. The lights begin to twinkle from the rocks. The long day wanes. The slow moon climbs. The deep moans round with many voices. Come, my friends, 'tis not too late to seek a newer world. Push off, and sitting well in order smite the sounding furrows, for my purpose holds to sail beyond the sunset, and the baths of all the western stars until I die. It may be that the gulfs will wash us down. It may be that we shall touch the happy isles, and see the great Achilles whom we knew. Though much is taken, much abides, and though we are not now that strength which in old days moved earth and heaven, that which we are, one equal temper of heroic hearts, made weak by time and fate, but strong in will to thrive, to seek, to find, and not to yield. Wasn't that good? Amazing. Lord Tennyson's one of my favorite Victorian poets. Great, great stuff. If you like that, I hope you'll subscribe to the podcast. Check out The Cultured Bumpkin on YouTube. There's a lot more and longer stuff over there. And I'll catch you next time. Thank you very much for listening. You've been listening to The Cultured Bumpkin, a literature podcast with Jake Phillips. Thank you very much for listening. I really do appreciate it. If you enjoyed this, would you mind going and subscribing and leaving a nice review on whatever podcast platform you heard this on? I would really appreciate it. Thank you very much for listening, and we'll see you next time.